Fine, guys. So I'm sharing my notepad.
This meeting is being recorded.
Good evening, everyone. In the previous session, we discussed about how to manage users in the Jenkins, how to provide the permissions for the users, and what is master-slave architecture in the Jenkins, and why we need to go for master-slave architecture. What is the advantage of going for master and slave architecture? So here in the Jenkins, we understood what is build and deployment. What is build and deployment? Manual build and deployment process. Manual build and deployment process. Automated build and deployment process. Automated build and deployment process. And we understood what is a web server. What is web server? Working with Apache Tomcat in Linux. Working with Apache Tomcat in Linux. Tomcat server folder structure. Tomcat server folder structure. Configuring users in Tomcat. Customizing Tomcat port number. Customizing Tomcat port number. Deploying war file to Tomcat server. Deploying war file to Tomcat server. These things we have learned. What is the build and deployment? And what is the manual deployment process? And what is automated deployment process? What is a web server? How to work with Apache Tomcat in the Linux machine? Then Tomcat server folder structure also we have discussed. Then how to configure users in the Tomcat we understood. How to customize the Tomcat port number we have seen. Deploying the war file to Tomcat server we understood. Deploying war file using Tomcat admin dashboard also we have discussed. Deploying war file using Tomcat admin dashboard, that also we have discussed. Next, that after that we have seen what is Jenkins. What is a Jenkins? Jenkins execution flow. Jenkins execution flow. Jenkins setup in Linux. Jenkins setup in Linux machine. Then after, jobs creation in Jenkins. Jobs creation in Jenkins. Then after, Jenkins plus Git plus Maven integration job. Maven integration job we have created. Then after we have created Jenkins plus Git plus Maven plus Tomcat server integration job also we have created. Jenkins plus Git plus Maven plus Tomcat integration job we have created. Then after we have seen how to do build triggers, build triggering, build triggers, and poll SCM that we have seen. After that, we discussed about the Jenkins pipeline creation and execution. Next, we understood how to manage users in Jenkins, users management, users and permissions for users in Jenkins. Then we discussed about Jenkins master slave architecture. Wow. So we have learnt these many topics when we go for Jenkins. Guys, did I cover all these topics? Did I cover all these topics? Jenkins topics covered in Jenkins classes. Topics covered in Jenkins classes. Guys, are you clear with my point? Did I cover all these topics or not? Please confirm. Yes, we have covered all these topics. What is build and what is a deployment? Build means compiling and packaging. Deployment means deploying the project to the server. How to do the manual deployment? We need to prepare the war file for our project and we need to deploy the war file to Tomcat web apps folder manually. How to do the automated deployment? So if I click a button, the project build and deployment process should complete. So what is a web server? Server that is going to run our project. Tomcat is a web server. How to work with Tomcat in the Linux? So I have given the commands also to download the Tomcat server and extract that zip or tar file. Tomcat server folder structure, configuring users in the Tomcat, customizing the Tomcat port number default 8080. Here you can configure the users in the Tomcat by using tomcat-users.xml. We can customize the Tomcat port number by using server.xml, deploying the war file to Tomcat server, deploying the war file using Tomcat admin dashboard. Then once we understood the Tomcat server for deploying the projects, we discussed about what is Jenkins software and how to run the jobs in the Jenkins, how the Jenkins integration is going to happen. So here, how to set up the Jenkins in Linux machine, how to download Jenkins in the Linux and how to run that. Java setup in the Linux. Job creation using Jenkins. Normal job we have created first. Then we created a Jenkins job with Git and Maven integration. Jenkins plus Git plus Maven plus Tomcat integration also we have done. Tomcat is available in AWS EC2. How to do the build trigger periodically, build triggers periodically plus poll SCM periodically and poll SCM for real CI/CD. When the code is changed by the developer, that code should be deployed into servers. And we have seen pipeline. Pipeline in the Jenkins, nothing but sequence of jobs. I want to execute my Jenkins jobs one after other. I want to execute my Jenkins jobs one after other. For that, we are going for pipeline. Next, in the Jenkins, by default, authentication authorization will be there. Authentication means it will use in-memory database, and authorization means who can do what in the Jenkins. By default, everybody can do anything in the Jenkins, but in the real time, we should not give such kind of permissions for all the team members. So we need to customize the permissions for the team members based on their roles. Developers will have only build execution permission. DevOps team members will have all the administrator activities permissions in the Jenkins. So in the last session, we have seen how to create the users and how to manage permissions for the users also in the Jenkins. Then after, we discussed about Jenkins master and slave architecture. If we create all the jobs in the Jenkins and if you execute all the jobs in the same machine, then performance issue will come and build and deployments also will take a lot of time. So to overcome that problem, we are going to follow master and slave architecture in the Jenkins. When you go for master slave architecture, Jenkins job will be created on the master node, but job execution will be done on the slave node. That is Jenkins master and slave configuration. Very good. So here, the next thing that we want to discuss is another tool that also will be integrated with the Jenkins, which is called Sonar Cube. What is the next tool that we need to understand, guys? Sonar Cube is the next tool that we have to discuss. So here when we go for build parameters also we have discussed it, guys. I forgot it. We discussed about build with parameters. Sorry, I forgot it. Jenkins build with parameter. So I have taken git branch parameter. I can execute the job by giving the branch name, by selecting the branch name dynamically, so that we can customize that job also. Branch parameters we have seen. Okay, fine. Next one, sir. Still Jenkins is not completed. Still we are working with Jenkins only. The next tool also will be integrated with the Jenkins only. Now, can you tell me, as of now, what we have done? As of now, what we have done in the Jenkins? So Jenkins is working as a centralized tool for our operations. Jenkins is working as a centralized tool for our operations. It is going to perform all the activities. Now here I am having a GitHub repository. Developers are committing the code to GitHub repository. Jenkins is taking that code, and Jenkins is using Maven to do the build, and Jenkins is deploying that application to Tomcat. So here I will say that I'm having GitHub. GitHub is available. It is a repository where the developers are going to store the code. Project will have a development team. All the developers are going to do the coding, and they will integrate their code in the Git repository. They will integrate that code in the Git repository. One developer or multiple developers, a team will be available who will be working on the development activities. So the developers will work on different functionalities, and they will be working from different locations also. And here developers will integrate the code by using GitHub repositories. So the code integration will happen in Git repository. It is a centralized repository. All the developers will merge their code into Git repository. Now we have Jenkins software. We have Jenkins software. Jenkins software is going to connect with the Git repository, and Jenkins is going to take the code from the GitHub repository to perform build and deployment. To perform the build activity, Jenkins is going to talk to one software called Maven. We'll talk to one software called Maven. Okay, so currently now Jenkins is taking the code from GitHub repository, and it is doing build by using Maven. Maven is a build tool which is compiling the project and which is packaging the project. Then after this project is deploying into Tomcat. This project is getting deployed into Tomcat. The war file is creating for our project. The war file is getting deployed into Tomcat server. The war file is getting deployed into Tomcat server. This Tomcat server we have taken in the cloud platform. It can be available in the another machine, or it can be available in the cloud also. There is no problem. There is no problem. Now, so with this, can I say we have automated build and deployment process of our application? Can we say we have automated build and deployment process for our application by using DevOps culture? Yes. But in the real time, this is not sufficient. In the real time, this is not sufficient. We need to use one more tool here, guys, that is called as Sonar Cube. We are going to use one more tool here that is called as Sonar Cube. So what is the purpose of this Sonar Cube? What is the duty of the Sonar Cube? Sonar Cube duty is used to perform code quality checking. Sonar Cube is one software which is used to perform code quality check for the project. Here, several developers are available. All these developers are writing the code. Some developers are experienced, some developers are freshers, some developers are internship people. Like that, multiple members are there. Everybody will not follow same coding standards, right? Some people are very good in programming. Some people are weak in the programming. Some people don't know the standards of the programming. Some people don't know best practices of the programming. So several team members are involved in our project development, and they are developing the code. So once they have developed that code, they will push that code to Git repository. In the Jenkins, we are creating the job. That Jenkins job will take the code from the GitHub. It will do the build by using Maven, and it is deploying by using Tomcat. But before deploying the code into the Tomcat server, I want to check the quality of the code. Are there any issues with respect to bugs, with respect to vulnerabilities, with respect to duplicate code? What is code quality? What is code coverage? Is there any code which is repeated in the project, duplicate code? There is a chance multiple developers can write the same lines of code in the multiple classes. So duplicate code is available. Coding standards are followed or not? And what is the code coverage? What is the code quality gate? Like that, I want to do several checks on the project source code. Instead of we are doing the checks on the source code, we can take one tool that is called Sonar Cube. What is the purpose of Sonar Cube? Sonar Cube is used for code quality checking. Not only quality, it is going to check several things, guys. Code review. Sonar Cube is called as a code review tool. Maven is called as a build tool. Maven is called as build tool. Sonar Cube is called as code review tool. Tomcat is called as web server. Tomcat is called as web server. GitHub is called as repository. GitHub is called as a repository. Now, tell me in the real time, code review will happen or code review will not happen in the real time. Code review will happen or code review will not happen in the real time. Code review is going to happen in the real time. It is very important. Every client also will ask what is the code quality, what is the code coverage, what are the vulnerabilities available, what is the duplicate code available in the project. We need to provide the code review report for the client also. When we are going to deliver the project to the client will ask for code quality report. So in order to get that quality report, we are going to use one software that is called Sonar Cube software. Now, code review should happen before deployment or after deployment. Code review should happen before deployment or after deployment. Code review should happen before deployment only. Now here, I have prepared a notes for you guys. What is a Sonar Cube and how to work with the Sonar Cube. I don't want to type each and everything. Now, Sonar Cube is continuous code quality checking tool. Code quality checking tool. We can do code review using this Sonar Cube software. Sonar Cube is a code review tool or code quality checking tool. Code review tool or code quality checking tool. We can do the code review using Sonar Cube. So before going to start working with the Sonar Cube, we need to understand two things here. What is code coverage and what is code review? Jenkins, we are going to use to do the deployments, right? Before going to do the deployment, we are going to do code coverage check and code review also. By using Sonar Cube, you can do code coverage checking and code review also. Code coverage means how much of source code is tested by unit test cases. Developers are going to do the coding. For that coding, they are going to implement the testing also. Developers will do the unit testing by using JUnit. Suppose, for example, developers are written 100 lines of code in one program, or assume that 10,000 lines of code is available. In our project, there are 10,000 lines of code is available. Out of these 10,000 lines, how many lines of code is tested by the developers in the unit testing? That is called as code coverage. Are you able to understand what is code coverage? As a DevOps engineer, you don't need to do anything with this code coverage or code review. You will just generate a report and you will give the report to the developers. Developers has to fix that problem. What is the code coverage? Developers written 10,000 lines of code. Out of the 10,000 lines, how many lines of code is tested as part of unit testing? That is called as code coverage. Industry standard code coverage is 80% for every project. Whenever developers complete a project, the developers should maintain 80% of the code coverage. That means if they write 100 lines, minimum to minimum 80 lines should be tested in the unit testing. Otherwise, it is not going to accept. So code coverage. So you understand what is code coverage? How much of source code, how many lines of source code is tested by unit test cases? How many lines of source code is tested by unit test cases is called as code coverage. So coding will done by developers, unit test also will done by the developers. If code coverage is above 80%, that means unit test is good. If code coverage is not above 80%, code coverage is not good. Sonar Cube will do code coverage checking also. Now code review, checking coding conventions. Checking the coding conventions now. Developers are following proper coding standards or not, that we are going to check by using code review. Coding standards are available or not, and syntaxes are properly they are using or not. And next one, bugs are available in the code or not. Next one, vulnerabilities available in the code or not. Any duplicate problems available in the code. Any code smells available in the project. Any issues that are there in the code. That all things can be identified in the code review. Are you able to understand the difference between code coverage and code review? In the interview, they will ask you, what is the difference between code coverage and code review? Code coverage means how many lines of source code is tested by unit test cases in the project? That is called code coverage. Industry benchmark is 80% of the code coverage for every project. Code review, nothing but checking the coding standards of our application. Those are called code conventions. Sonar Cube is an open source software quality management tool. Sonar Cube is available for open source, free. You can use the Sonar Cube for free of cost. It will continuously analyze and measure quality of the source code. Whenever you have project build automation by using Jenkins, if you integrate Sonar Cube with the Jenkins continuously, that Sonar Cube is going to measure quality of the source code. It will generate the report if any issues in the HTML format or in the PDF format. Whenever we do the code review by using Sonar Cube, it will identify all the mistakes in the source code and it is going to generate a report in the HTML or PDF format. As a DevOps engineer, are you going to fix the problems, code review problems and code coverage problems? Are you going to fix it? Who will fix them? Who will fix them? Developers. So what is your duty? Perform the code review, generate the report, give the report to the generate the report and give the report to developers. Developers will check the report and will fix the problems. Got it? Right. Sonar Cube is an open source software quality management tool. It will continuously analyze and measures quality of the source code. It will generate the report if any issues in the HTML or PDF format. This Sonar Cube tool is not only for Java guys. This Sonar Cube is web-based tool. It supports 20 plus programming languages. Sonar Cube, sir, Sonar Cube is used only for Java code review? No, not only for Java. Sonar Cube will support for 20 plus programming languages. Java code you can review, Python code you can review, and C# code you can review, PHP code you can review, JavaScript code you can review by using Sonar Cube. Sonar Cube is not specific to only Java. Sonar Cube is web-based platform. It supports 20 plus programming languages and it supports multi-OS platform. You can install the Sonar in the Linux machine as well as in the Windows machine also. And Sonar Cube supports multiple databases also. That means to store the Sonar reports, Sonar Cube is generating a report, right? That reports you can store in a database also. It supports multiple databases and it supports multiple browsers also. Okay. Sonar Cube is an open source software quality management tool. It will continuously analyze and measures quality of the source code. It will generate the report if any issues. It is a web-based tool and it supports 20 plus programming languages. It supports multiple operating systems. It supports multiple databases. It supports multiple browsers also. Sonar Cube will identify below category of issues in the project source code. When the developers completed the source code, when we do the code review by using Sonar Cube can identify these problems in the code. Duplicate code. If any developer is writing the same code in multiple places or in the whole project, if developers are writing the same code at multiple places, then that will be considered as a duplicate code. It is not at all recommended to write the duplicate code in the project. When you want to do the same functionality, when you want to write the same code, you need to reuse. You should not rewrite. Duplicate code, it is going to check. Coding standards, it is going to check. All the Java will have some standards. Python will have some standards. Okay. Every programming language will have some coding standards. So the developers are following the coding standards properly or not, it is going to verify. And the next one is unit tests. Developers are implementing the proper unit testing or not. Whatever the code they have done, are they doing testing for the code or not? Unit tests are implemented in the project or not? And what is the code coverage? Code coverage means how many lines of code is available in the whole project and how many lines of code is tested in the unit testing. Code coverage is 80% matching with 80% or not. That code coverage also it is going to identify. Complex code. Is there any logic which is complex in the project? Developers are making any logic complex? That also SonarQube is going to check. If you write developers basically, when you write a method with 100 lines, it is very complex for others to understand. If you make the logic complex, SonarQube will identify that. And is there any code which is commented? Commented code means there is no use of that. The code is not good. The code which is commented, that means the code is not going to execute. Is there any code which is commented in the project? SonarQube is going to identify that. And are there any potential bugs like array index out of bound? Null pointer exceptions. Are there any chances of getting the exceptions, potential bugs in the source code? Those also can be identified by SonarQube. So when you do the code review by using SonarQube, it can identify these problems in the source code. As a DevOps engineer, you no need to bother about these things, guys. You are just responsible to do the review, generate a report, send the report to the development team. Development team will see the issues. Development team will fix the issues. Once they have fixed the issues, again we need to generate a report and you need to identify issues are resolved or not. So now, what is the advantage of using the SonarQube software in the project? Guys, what is the advantage of using SonarQube in the project? Can you tell me? Quality. Developers कैसे काम कर रहे हैं? We can verify. We can verify by using this SonarQube. SonarQube is a source code review software. Okay, it is free and open source. SonarQube is only for Java. SonarQube is only for Java, or it is for all? How many programming languages it is supporting, guys? How many programming languages the SonarQube is supporting? SonarQube is supporting for 20 plus programming languages. Initially, SonarQube is developed only for Java projects, but later they added the support for other programming languages also. Initially, SonarQube was developed only for Java projects. Today, SonarQube is supporting 20 plus languages. Now, for a few languages, SonarQube is open source. For a few languages, SonarQube is commercial. We can check that in the official website of the SonarQube. Let's go to Google. Let's verify SonarQube. Go to sonarcube.org. Can you see here what they are telling? Your teammate. SonarQube is going to work as your teammate. Code quality and code security. SonarQube empowers all the developers to write the cleaner and safer code. Join in an open community. More than 200,000 development teams are available. Like this, it is going to identify code quality gate is passed or failed. Quality gate passed means it's acceptable. Quality gate failed means not acceptable. Bugs, vulnerabilities, code smells, it is going to identify. Enhance your workflow with continuous code quality and code security. Static rules will be available. Oh, how many programming languages it is supporting today? 20 plus. It is the exact number is 29 programming languages it is supporting, not only for Java. Java is in the first place. Why they kept Java in first place? Why they kept Java in first place? Guys, come on. Initially, this tool was developed only for Java. Later, they added the support for other programming languages also. Jenkins, Azure DevOps, Server, and many others. Can we integrate SonarQube with Jenkins also? CI/CD integration? CI/CD integration? Yes, SonarQube can be integrated with the Jenkins also. Okay, recommended to read all these things. Open source. Now here, free and open community edition is available. Developer edition, enterprise edition, data center, like that. There are several options are available. We can download community edition of the SonarQube, and we can use that SonarQube to perform the code review for our project. So are you able to understand what is the SonarQube and why we are going for SonarQube now? SonarQube is a continuous code quality checking tool. We can do the code review by using SonarQube. So there is a difference that you need to understand the between code coverage and code review. Can you understand the difference between? Can you understand the difference between code coverage and code review? Can you understand the difference between code coverage and code review? Understand the difference between code coverage and code review? Yes. Coverage means how many lines of code is tested by unit test cases. Review means standards. SonarQube is open source software quality management tool. Continuously analyze and measures quality of the source code. It will generate code review report. It is a web-based tool. It supports 29 programming languages. Let me correct it now. It is multi-OS platform. It supports multiple databases. It supports multiple browsers. When we do the code review, when you do the code quality check by using SonarQube, SonarQube will identify these issues: duplicate code, coding standards, unit tests, code coverage, complex code available in the project, commented code of the project, potential bugs available in the source code. All these things can be identified by using SonarQube. Initially, SonarQube was developed only for Java projects. Today, SonarQube is supporting for 20 plus languages. All right. Now, how we need to do the setup of the SonarQube? How we need to do the setup of the SonarQube? Now, SonarQube software is also developed by using Java. So we need to install the Java in order to install SonarQube. We need to install Java in order to install SonarQube, guys. Environment setup. Java is the prerequisite software for SonarQube. If you are using SonarQube below 7.6 version, then Java 1.8 version is required. If you want to use Sonar 7.8 version above versions, then Java 11 version is required. We can check this compatibility in official Sonar website. If you want to use a Sonar version above 7.8 version, then Java 11 version is required. SonarQube software is developed by using Java. SonarQube software is developed by using Java. Right. So based on the version you want to use, the compatibility Java version should be installed in your machine. If you want to use a SonarQube 7.6 or below, then Java 1.8 version is sufficient. If you want to use SonarQube 7.8 or above versions, then Java 11 version is required. Right. Now, hardware requirements, minimum RAM is 2 GB. Hardware requirements, minimum RAM is 2 GB. But here in the AWS, we are using what EC2 instances, guys? In AWS, what EC2 instances we are using? T2 micro we are using. T2 micro we are using. T2 micro we are using. What is the RAM capacity for T2 micro? What is the RAM capacity for T2 micro? 1 GB, 1 GB. But what is the minimum RAM required for sonar? What is the minimum RAM required for sonar? 2 GB. So then, can I go with the T2 micro or I cannot go with the T2 micro? Can I go with the T2 micro or I cannot go with the T2 micro? I cannot go with the T2 micro. Now, T2 micro will give only 1 GB of RAM, but for the sonar, to run the sonar, I need 2 GB RAM. For that purpose, what I will do is, I will do with T2 medium. I will go with which EC2 instance family member, T2 medium. Why I am going for T2 medium? Why I am going for T2 medium? Can you tell me, guys?
This meeting is being recorded.
Yeah, right, guys. So you understand what is the software requirement and what is the hardware requirement to set up Sonar Cube in our machine? Tell me, guys, what is the software requirement? Can you tell me what is software requirement to install Sonar? Java is required. So Java also, can we use any version of the Java? Can we use any version of the Java? No. It depends upon Sonar versions. Up to 7.6 version of the Sonar, Java 1.8 is required. If you want to use a Sonar above 7.8 to 8, Java 11 version is required. Okay. Now, what is the hardware requirement? What is the hardware requirement for the Sonar, guys? Can I use a T2 micro instance or T2 micro not sufficient? T2 micro not sufficient because T2 micro is having only 1 GB of RAM. So for Sonar, what is the minimum RAM required? 2 GB. So what EC2 instance I have to create now? What EC2 instance I have to create now? I have to create T2 medium. Why we are going for T2 medium? It is going to give us 4 GB of RAM. Okay. Let us do Sonar setup. Let us do the Sonar setup in our machine, guys. Select instance family. Okay. Now T2 micro is free tier eligible, which is having only 1 GB of RAM. Now T2 small. Can I use a T2 small? Can I use a T2 small type? It will give exactly 2 GB. The 2 GB will be used by Sonar only. Then what about operating system? We need some memory for operating system, right? We need some memory for operating system. So T2 small is not sufficient. I'm going for T2 medium. T2 medium is a free tier. A T2 medium is not free tier. T2 medium is not free tier. It will generate a bill. So we will use it for 30 minutes or minimum 1 hour, then we will close it, right? So it will not generate much bill amount. Even if the bill generated in the AWS, I will show you how to make the bill as a 0. So don't worry about it, guys. Even if the bill generated for you because of T2 medium, I will tell you how to make the AWS bill amount as a 0. Don't worry. So I'm going to select this T2 medium, configure instance details, number of instance 1, add storage, default 8 GB root volume, tags, add the tag, name I'm giving as the volume, name I'm giving as Sonar server. I'm giving the name for this instance as a Sonar server because I'm going to run my Sonar server in this security group. So existing security group I'm using Ashok IT security group, review and launch. Okay, your instance is not eligible for free tier. That is what they are telling you. Click on launch, existing security group, my Linux VM key pair. Yes, selecting this launch instance. Fine. My instance got launched. It is a T2 medium, 4 GB RAM. It is getting started. It is not free tier eligible, guys. Bill might generate, but I will tell you how to make that bill amount as 0. You no need to pay single rupee also because we are at learning stage. We are exploring the AWS. If the bill generated, you no need to pay that. Okay. Refresh. Yeah. EC2 instance is running. Take the public IP. Go to mobile extreme. Software. Connect to this EC2 instance. Maximum number of saved sessions. So let me delete all the sessions which are created. Yes. Session SSH, remote host, username, EC2 user, advanced SSH settings, key file, Linux VM, key pair PEM file. Click on OK. Perfect. So we are able to connect with our EC2 instance, which is T2 medium, 4 GB RAM. Now let me update the existing packages. Sudo yum update, sudo yum update -y. Existing packages I am updating in my Linux machine. It is my EC2 instance. It is recommended to update the packages before installing any software. It is highly recommended to update these packages before installing any software. Okay. Once the packages got updated, once the packages got updated, now go to cd opt folder options. Now I'm going to install this Sonar Cube in the OPT location. I'm going to cd opt present working directory. I am under OPT. Who am I? I'm a EC2 user. I navigated to OPT. Once it is done, then install Java. So I'm going to install Java 1.8 version. I'm installing Java 1.8 version. Sudo yum install Java 1.8. Yes, Java 1.8 installed in my EC2. Because the Java software is the prerequisite to run the Sonar. Sonar is a web-based application. Sonar is also developed by using Java. So that's why first I have installed Java. Once the Java got installed, then we are going to check version of the Java. See the Java version, Java version, Java 1.8 version is available. Once it is installed, that Sonar we are going to download as a zip file, right? So to unzip this, we need to install the unzip command. I'm installing that unzip. You need to be root user to perform this action. So now I'm going to sudo yum install wget unzip. So that unzip command, yes, it's already available. Yeah, this is the actual command which is used to download the Sonar Cube as a zip file. Wget command I'm using. Wget command I'm using to get the Sonar Cube downloaded in the OPT directory. Once it is downloaded, then I'm going to get super user. Yes, you need to switch to super user in order to download that Sonar. Okay, so here sudo u, yes, I missed this command, that's why I'm getting the problem. So first you need to execute this. Fine, so once I have executed, I'm able to download Sonar. ls-l, can you see Sonar Cube zip file downloaded in the opt directory? I have given OPT directory here. I want to download the Sonar into OPT. You can download in any location, no problem. I downloaded that in the OPT directory. Sonar is downloaded. Sonar is downloaded in which format, guys? Tar file or zip file? Sonar downloaded in which format now? Zip file. Let me unzip this Sonar. Let me unzip that Sonar. How to unzip? Unzip Sonar folder. Unzip space Sonar zip file. Yes, I am unzipping this Sonar. Okay, clear this. Now ls-l, can you see Sonar Cube folder is created? Can we see the Sonar folder is created? Yes. From where I got this Sonar folder? This is the URL of the Sonar. This is the URL of the Sonar. How I have downloaded that Sonar file? wget command. By using wget command, I have downloaded. See here, these are the commands to work with that. Here, I have installed Java. Here, I have installed Java. First, I have switched to root user. All right, guys. Now I switch it to super user. Then I'm installing wget. Wget command. If the wget is not available, we are installing the wget command. I'm going to opt directory. Then I'm installing Java. Then I'm checking Java version. So how I am checking the Java version? Java space hyphen version. Then
This meeting is being recorded.
okay. So now once the sonar is downloaded, can we go inside that? Can we go inside that? CD space sonar ls-l. Can we see folder structure of the sonar? Can we see the folder structure of the sonar? Bin command, conf command, sorry, bin directory, conf directory, data, Elasticsearch, extensions, lib, logs, temp, web, like that. Some extra folders, not as Tomcat. There are some additional folders also available. What are the additional folders? Elasticsearch folder is available. Extensions folder is available extra. There we have web apps. Here we have web folder. Okay. Bin folder available. Conf folder available. CD space conf ls-l. Can you see sonar.properties? Yes, let's open sonar.properties. Vi sonar.properties. Okay. I'm able to open sonar properties. Can you see? Can you see what is the port number of the sonar? Can we find out where the port number available for sonar? Database, you can configure any database. You can configure any database. If you don't configure by default, it will use one internal database. Can you see anywhere port number configuration for sonar? Default value. What is the port number? What is the default port number for sonar? 9000. Can we change that port number also? Can we change that port number also? Right. Right. Where is the sonar port number available? In which file the sonar port number is available? In sonar.properties. Where is that sonar.properties available? In the conf folder. Now, where the Tomcat port number we have to change? Where the Tomcat port number we have to change? Server.xml. Where the sonar port number we have to change? Sonar.properties. Where Jenkins port number we have to change? Sysconfig. These are the questions they will ask. How to change sonar port number, how to change Jenkins port number, how to change Tomcat port number. You have to remember this. Fine. So now we are able to do this. We are able to do this now. Let's come back. CD space bin directory. Let's come back. We are able to understand sonar folder structure. I think my system got hanged. Yeah, that's fine. Clear. Present working directory. CD space bin. ls-l. I'm going inside the bin directory. ls-l. Inside the bin directory, can you see Windows folder? Can you see Linux folder? Yes. Windows available, Linux available. Currently, we are using which operating system? Linux operating system. Go inside the Linux. ls-l. Oh, can you see a file called sonar.sh file? Can you see a file called sonar.sh file? What is the purpose of sonar.sh? Which is used to start the sonar. Sonar.sh. Usage, start that sonar. Start that sonar. Okay. But there is a problem here, guys. By default, you cannot run the sonar with the root user. You cannot run the sonar with the root user. Root user cannot run the sonar. We need to create a separate user to run the sonar. We need to run the separate user to run the Sonar. Let me show you how to add the user. Let me add the new user to work with Sonar. Okay, root user cannot run the Sonar directly. I'm going to add user add Sonar. I'm adding a new user with a name called Sonar. Then go for vi sudo. Now users are available here. vi user is available. Now include here vi user is available, root user is available with all the permissions. Now let me go to my insert mode. I'm going to configure Sonar user with no password. I'm going to configure Sonar user with no password. All permissions, password colon all. No password is available for Sonar. Okay. Now save and quit. I have done that. Change ownership of the Sonar folder. I'm going to change the ownership of the Sonar folder. Right? Chmod command I'm using to change the ownership of that folder. Now, once the ownership got changed for that folder, I'm switching to Sonar user account. su Sonar. I switch it to Sonar user account. Once I switch it to Sonar user account, then sh command we are going to use to check the status. Sh sonar.sh status. Right. Now currently I am here outside of this. Now what is my present working directory? Sonar folder cd/opt, present working directory opt, ls-l, cd space sonar cube, cd space bin, cd space linux, ls-l. Now I am here. Now I can execute this sonar sh file. I can execute this, check sonar server status, su-sonar, go to bin directory and run the sonar server. In order to run this sonar server, we have sh file sonar.sh. Yes, now let's check the status of the sonar sh sonar.sh of status. Sonar cube is not running. Sonar cube is not running. Check sonar server status. Go to bin directory and run the sonar server. sh space sonar.sh. Usage sonar.sh. Sonar.sh of start. Failed to start the sonar cube. It is failed to start the sonar cube. It tried to start the sonar. It failed to start the sonar cube. Let me come back to cd opt, cd sonar cube, ls-l. Let me go to logs, cd logs, ls-l, readme txt, vi readme txt file, readme txt file is not there. Yep. Logs not created, ls-l. No, not sec. First of all, if the sonar is running, then we can add the security group, right? First of all, sonar server is not yet started. Switch it to sonar user. Switch it to sonar user. Change the ownership of that folder. Switch it to sonar user. Sonar server status. cd space bin. cd space linux. ls-l. Sonar.sh file is available. Command not found. sh of sonar.sh of start. Failed to start the sonar cube. It is failing. Let me see. vi sudo permission denied. Let me switch back to sudo su. vi sudo users no password is equal to all. Wheel is equal to all is equal to all. No password is equal to all. Allow root to run any command anywhere. I have added a sonar user. I have given the permission for sonar user to run without password. All is equal to all, no password. I have given this. Okay. Next, switch back to that root, that sonar user. Su hyphen sonar is switched back. cd space opt cd space sonar space bin space linux ls hyphen l, then sh sonar dot sh start. Failed to start the sonar cube. Password for sonar. Now it's not possible because that sonar user password we have not given that, man. We have not given that password. Present working directory. Who am I? I'm a sonar user now. I'm a sonar user. I'm trying to execute this ls sonar.sh dot slash sonar.sh sonar.sh dot sonar.sh space status. Sonar cube is not running. Dot sonar.sh start. It is failing to start the sonar cube. What is the issue? Guys, it is not able to start, so just download this and keep this ready. Tomorrow I will check why this sonar is not getting started. I will check the root cause. So what you need to do is you need to create one EC2 instance with the medium, then switch to root user, then install the wget, go to the opt directory, download the java and check the java version and download unzip command. If unzip is not available, download the unzip, then using this wget download this sonar. Once it is downloaded, then unzip the sonar folder. Once you have done unzip, then create a new user called sonar user. Go to vi sudo and add the sonar user without password. Once we have done that, give the permission for the sonar user to access that folder. Once you have given that permission, go to sonar, switch to sonar user account, then go to bin directory and run the sonar server. Check the sonar server status. How to run this sonar server? sh sonar.sh start. Go to bin directory and run the sonar server. Go to bin directory, then go to linux directory and run sonar server. So this is the command to start the sonar. Once the sonar is started, you can check this sonar status. So if the sonar server is working, then by default sonar server runs on 9000 port number. Enable that port number in the security group and try to access that sonar. So if the sonar server is up and running, you can see the sonar server dashboard in the browser. So if it is not running, then we need to figure out that issue. I will check it why it is not running in my system. Okay, you guys try this. I will upload the class notes into our portal now. So you try this and let me know in the group if it is working. I will check it why it is failing in my system. I'm unable to run the sonar server. Maybe some permission issue is there. Let me check it. Okay, thank you guys. Fine. So we are going to complete the sonar integration with the Jenkins in the tomorrow session. So tomorrow we have a class at regular time. Thank you. I will see you tomorrow. Bye bye. Good night. Please set up the sonar in your machine before coming to tomorrow session.